Welcome to the Fleet Geeks Podcast. We're here to help develop fleet and transport professionals. Do you want to progress and develop your skills and knowledge? We promise to bring lively conversation and debate around interesting issues and keep you bang up to date with changes in our awesome industry. The Fleet Geeks are a community of professionals, and if you enjoyed the podcast, why not join the discussion for free in the Fleet Geek community over on Facebook?
Go on, Mike.
I can do the intro on this one. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another cracking episode of Fleet Geeks, and with me today remotely, and it seems to be working okay. In my microphone okay now? Does that sound any better, or is that still?
I think definitely it's fine. Yeah,
sounds okay to me, mate.
Yeah, it does,
sounds okay to me. We can still hear you, Mike.
I've got the birds singing outside, so that's an indication of when we recorded this. It must have been sunny. So welcome, everybody. Got Pete and Jamie joining us remotely. Amazing what we can do with modern technology. So what are we going to talk about today in the podcast? And it's very topical, isn't it? Very seasonal. I was going to quickly go and change and put a Hawaiian shirt on or something and a pair of sunglasses, because we're going to be talking about transport managers and them going on holiday. Back in the day, we didn't have holidays. I mean,
sure.
What kind of world are we living in? What kind of world are we living in when we're giving transport managers holidays? What has happened? We've gone soft, haven't we? We've gone all soft and woke.
I think if you spoke to any transport manager, they'd say it's not really a holiday because they're still thinking about the operation. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
It's still in the back of their mind. That is a whole new podcast.
Yeah, I remember leaving a mobile phone one day on top of a wardrobe, because the only place you could get signal, I think it was in Spain or somewhere, and leaving it on top of a wardrobe is the only place I could get signal, just in case somebody wanted me or just in case there was a problem. But yeah, you never quite switch off, do you? So what do you reckon? Yeah, absolutely. Too many movies. Yeah, exactly.
Well,
what do we reckon, folks? What do we do?
Quite topical, and I think I'm going to release this as like the first podcast. Oh, wow. I don't know what's just happened there.
What's that?
Can you
hear?
Went
all quiet for a minute. I can hear you. We can hear you.
I can hear you, but there was a little bit of something in the background. I don't know what it was.
So I've just had, I don't know what happened there, but I just...
But mention the word holiday and Pete's gone all funny, look.
I tapped my ear, and in my ear I had this woman singing, "Testing your speakers on StreamYard." Oh my God, I can't even speak. Shut that up.
He's already on the beach, isn't he? He's already on the beach.
So I'm going to release this as the first podcast for July, because what we're going to do is normally we do 2 podcasts a week, and we're going to roll it back through, I think, July and August, just to cover that holiday period for us, because it's quite intensive, isn't it, to keep up the 2 podcasts a week. So I think we're just going to wind it back in July and August. So we'll just be releasing podcasts on a Monday, just to perk your Mondays up. We're going to be releasing them on a Monday morning through July and August. And I think I really wanted to raise this podcast because holidays are bloody important, and I think that we should be able to switch off. So one of the things there was a few things I wanted to suggest as part of this was do we actually take a holiday? Who stays online and doesn't really take a holiday? I know I'm guilty of that. And is a relief manager such a thing? Back in the day when I used to run pubs, we had what was called relief managers. So the landlord would go on holiday and they'd have a relief manager come in from the brewery who would manage the pub in their absence for a week or 2 weeks whilst the landlord took a holiday, to keep an eye on stock and ensure that the license was looked after. Because again, it's a regulated sector. That was how the pub companies managed it, and it's something which isn't really a thing in transport. And I feel like you'd have a relief chef if you were a small kitchen and you employed one chef. You'd bring in a relief chef, because otherwise your kitchen closed when they go on holiday, right? Yeah. So why we don't have agency transport managers? Why is that not a thing? I suppose the idea is that you allow the team to manage it, but I just wanted to field it really and see what you guys thought.
But you might have a situation where you haven't got a team, where many ETMs will be working solo, won't they? They'll be flying solo. So ETMs, particularly external transport managers, won't have a team behind them, and they may have to, and because they've got a sort of a relationship with a customer sort of client relationship with the operator, as opposed to an employee relationship. There's going to be that expectation that something will happen when the transport manager's on holiday. So there'll be, as you say, Pete, some sort of relief cover. I suppose it's slightly easier for an employed transport manager, because they're more likely to have by virtue of the fact they're employed transport managers, they're going to be a bigger fleet and have probably an assistant or at least somebody who can step into the breach. But interesting. What do you think, Jamie? Is that, as an ETM, what would you do? What's your...
is a tricky. Obviously, you're going to have to get all your eggs in place before you go. But it must happen a lot. Where 2 weeks away, a lot can happen in those 2 weeks, can't it? If you're an ETM, drivers getting infringements, might be an RTC. It's generally things go wrong at the worst time, don't they? One of the worst times.
If something's going to go wrong, it will go wrong. Then,
So it's difficult. Like you say, it depends on the size of the company as well, doesn't it? If it's just one, if you're an ETM for one driver, you got a good relationship with him. A call halfway through your holiday, perhaps just put your own mind at rest. I wouldn't go on this. I know I would. My wife would have a go at me for doing it, but I know for my own sanity and to enjoy the second week of my holiday, I would perhaps want to just check in. But everyone's different, aren't they? Some people think, the phone's off, I'll worry about anything when I get back, and that's fine as well, isn't it? You're there to have a holiday, and as Pete said at the start, it's really, really important. Getting back to bigger businesses, like you said, it's a lot easier to cover. You can ask people, delegate your duties. Can you just keep an eye on the tacos on them off to one part of the team? Perhaps someone else, make sure the services go on time. That's due MOT next Tuesday. You can sort of, give people a list of jobs to do and make sure they're doing them. So the pressure's off. You can enjoy your holiday. I had that luxury as a transport manager, but I still in the back of my mind, did that truck go? That truck should have gone today. It's never easy, does it? There's a lot of responsibility.
Did that vehicle pass MOT?
Yeah, it does. And if it hasn't failed MOT, what we've done to make sure.
Did it fail on the mud flaps? Then you're going to be fuming for the rest of the 2 weeks, thinking,
it's perhaps best not to know, isn't it? In a big company where you can't. And me and Pete have sort of had this conversation because Pete's going on holiday soon. Perhaps sometimes best not to know, isn't it? You can't really do a lot when you're on holiday. It's not like you're going to be pulling drivers in and asking for explanations. What can you do? So what is the point of upsetting yourself and worrying about stuff?
Hi, it's Pete from Flagship Partners. We're really proud to sponsor the Fleet Geeks podcast. Flagship Partners offer a range of consultancy and training services to ensure that our customers remain compliant and have the best possible knowledge to be able to fulfill their work. If you're interested in support with any of our safety, HR or compliance services, or you want to train to be a transport manager or need driver CPC training, give us a call today.
I think there's a few things that I want to point out, and that is that in a few transport businesses I've been in, particularly smaller ones, like we're saying, there is this toxic expectation that despite you being on holiday, if that phone rings, you're going to freaking answer it.
Yeah, true.
And I want to raise that's bad. That is bad. We are not, I know we were having a bit of a laugh and a joke about being woke and having holidays and stuff, which Mike is absolutely right. But we've got to have holiday, right? We've got to have holiday. We've got to have a break. And then I think the key thing is that no one ever talks about is Stat Doc 3 states that you've got to have so many hours a week dedicated to, depending on the number of vehicles, to the compliance of an operation. How do people manage that on holiday? Do they do extra hours on the weeks leading up to and away from the holiday to stop, so there's a period of 2 weeks where there's zero compliance happen. If you're an ETM, nothing happens. I suspect there's a lot of ETMs who go on holiday that continue to manage vehicles remotely.
I would absolutely. I wonder how many of them take the laptop. I know we can do most things on a phone these days, but I just wonder how many people take their laptops. I'm sure that happens. I'm sure that they do. But you do need that. Otherwise, you're going to make mistakes. If you're tired and wired, you're going to make errors. And those holidays are important. To people, aren't they? They are indeed. But then you might be different, sort of person that can't really leave it and can't switch off, which I suppose is difficult for them to do that, isn't it? It's difficult to switch off when you can't, when you're not naturally one of those people. I
think you've got to set your boundaries and your expectations, haven't you? So one of the things I do, and I don't know if it's good advice for other people or not really, but I tend to switch my phone off and divert calls. So I divert calls to the team. So I think the thing is, we're lucky as a team, aren't we? And our clients are lucky because there's a team of us. We make sure we don't go on holiday together. A good example, in July, I'm on holiday for 2 weeks. And Jamie, the day I arrive back, Jamie's gone on his 2-week holiday. So there's kind of this overlap where we've got coverage of other people. So we can manage. But, how I tend to manage it will be my phone will be on divert so I don't get any nasty phone calls interrupting the day. But I tend to leave WhatsApp on if there's something mega urgent. And then I'll maybe have a look at WhatsApp. But I'm a bit naughty. But again, I'm in a slightly different position because, you know, I'm in a position now, we've got like a team of 10 people and there's training going on and there's, you know, all sorts of things happening. And ultimately I'm responsible for that. So as a small business owner, it's a bit tricky. But I know as a small business owner, I expect all of you to go on holiday and switch off. I would not ring you. I would not message you. I would not email. And if I did do any of those things, I wouldn't expect a response until you got back. Does that make sense? So I'll have an expectation of you as a team to do it. But
it's fair enough to just say, if somebody's going to send an email that they've sent round to everybody in the team, if you send it, and I just happen to be on holiday, no big deal. You know, I mean, it's going to sit there and you can't individually pick people out just because they're on holiday, or better not send that to Fred because he's on holiday. But I suppose the other side, interesting question though, Pete, from your point, maybe another subject for another podcast. We keep coming across them. Does a transport manager ever get any good news? As a business owner, you know, you may be on holiday, but you might get a cracking bit of news. A potential client might ring you up and say, you know, we've decided that, you know, on the balance of things, you've got a super duper team and, you know, we really think you're brilliant and we'd like to give you this great huge chunk of business, which you're going to be delighted. It's going to make your holiday. You might even buy a round. I don't know. Crikey me, stranger things happen. You know. So, you know, it might be something that you want to know about and that you're really pleased to hear that. But yeah, do transport managers ever get good news? I don't think they do.
I think that's definitely another podcast, isn't it?
Yeah, we'll leave a good half hour for that one, I think.
Let us know, folks. Let us know. Have you ever, as a transport manager, been rung up by a driver who said, I just want to let you know, everything's gone really well today and I'm really happy and you're a wonderful transport manager? I don't think anyone's ever received that phone call.
I think there's a pig just flown out that window.
So, you know, unfortunately, as a transport manager, if you're on holiday and your phone rings or you get a message notification, you kind of know that's going to be bad news, don't you? It's not going to be good news. Yeah. You know that bridge on the high street, boss? Yeah. We ain't there anymore.
Oh, mate, don't.
It's got
like
your
worst nightmare.
Yeah.
It's like your worst nightmare.
If you're on holiday, what can you do?
And you open up, you can just see it now. I'm just going to end on this moment. Yeah, TM, and you just think, I'll just have a flick through Facebook, and then you open Facebook and you see one of your liveried vehicles, like literally, you know, like
propping a bridge up somewhere, right?
Yeah, and you're just like, oh my god. Anyway, on that note, let's end this one. I hope you all enjoy your holidays. Make sure you take a holiday, switch your phone off, let the misery come back to you in 2 weeks' time, is all I say.
It'll still be there, folks, when you come back. Yeah.
Exactly. It will still be there. And I think if you've got the right management systems in place, then hopefully you can delegate the services to others. And if anyone's interested in a relief manager for their transport operation, I'm more than happy for any of our team to have a chat with you. Because we would just, you know, if you wanted someone just to keep an eye on stuff whilst you go on holiday, we've got a team of transport managers who could help you. So that is a thing. You know, you just need to give us, you know, if you need a bit of support and stuff, I'd be fairly reasonable on the cost, because I think for me it's important that TMs get a break. So I don't know what the cost would be. I think you'd have to do it on an ad hoc basis and just work out what's required. But you know, if you wanted a steady set of hands, or even like you wanted to give your client an emergency number to get advice, as simple as that.
You know, absolutely.
Then we could do that and then charge on a per call basis or something like that if the service is used. There you go. There's an idea, isn't there?
That's a great idea. You know, make it up on the hoof, why don't you? But no, that's a fantastic idea. And I tell you what, if I'd have had that option available to me as a transport manager, it's certainly, you know, it's not
a bad idea, is it? So I think maybe we'll do a bit of development on that. Anyway, thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
And take care, everyone. See you soon.
See you on the next one.
I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, please share with your friends and colleagues too. Join us for free on Facebook with the Fleet Geeks community for transport and fleet managers. Fleet Geeks offers ongoing professional development, networking and mentoring too. So get in touch with me, Pete Rushmer, on any social media platform to find out more.